see you all. Thank you so much for the musicians, Jen Ambrose and Richard Williams. I'm going to start with a poem. And I'm being still because I like to just have a few poems and then tune into this moment right now and see which poem wants to come out. Okay, so here it is. It's fun. Just sort of see which one lights up. So this one's called Turn Around. I wrote this poem. One of the things that I like to do is write, and usually the poems and the songs come out all at once. They just drop out of spirit, and I listen and I write them down or I sing them out, and you may have that experience too. It's really fabulous when that happens. Okay, so this one's called Turn Around. Turn around with me and walk back toward the one who creates us now, in every eternal moment. Even though moments cannot be accurate and words don't explain the truth, walk with me anyway. Past mountains and specks of tired dust, and the gorgeous beauty of this budding hibiscus. We'll pass familiar neighborhoods of loneliness and greed, filled with desperate acts of believing, but we will not stop. Instead, we'll hold hands and continue together as sister and brother. Finally, family, not pausing at every corner. That would take too long. In fact, we'd get lost if we tried to sample it all. Finally, family, we'll journey together whenever we're ready, at any intersection we fancy. Walking linked, emboldened in our union, directly into heaven. So thank you for going directly into heaven with me. We are molded like the clay through these seasons and these changes, shaped by the winds and baked in the sun. Into a vessel we become, filled with life's rains. Drink from this cup your sweet essence, from a breath of a dream, sung as our ancestors sing. We are called to this place unfinished. Let the beauty and the love from the ground and up above mold us like clay through these changes. Each turn of the wheel, each beat of the heart drum, help us to know and feel. From the Creator's hands we create our own lives. Help us to know and heal. For on the
Sometimes we're just right, but sometimes there's sweet, loving kindness from the breath of a dream sung as our ancestors sing. We are called to this place unfinished. Let the beauty and the love from the ground and above mold us like clay through these changes. Yes, we are molded like the clay through these seasons and these changes, shaped by the wind and baked in the sun. Into a vessel we become, filled with life's rains. Drink from this cup your sweet essence.
Wow. Thank you. Thank you. How's that? Everybody hear me? Right? It's kind of cool when I get invited to do something like this and I have no idea what I'm going to talk about. And then I wait. And I kind of like waiting for a poem to come or a song. It's all right. Spirit, what is thy pleasure? And so I tuned in and I realized, okay, so this is what I'm meditating upon. So I feel like I want to share it, and it's a few lines from A Course in Miracles. And I know some of you are Course students or familiar with the Course. How many people here have studied the Course or are aware of it? Yeah, quite a few. So you may remember these lines. This is what it looks like. I've been studying this thing for like 15 years or so, and I get more out of it all the time. It's really a lifetime's worth of reflection and meditation. So these lines come from chapter 2, and it's really simple and really deep, like most of the Course. And it goes like this. What do you treasure? And how much do you treasure it? What do you treasure? And how much do you treasure it? So together, we're going to check that out. So just tune into your breath and your body and your essence right now and ask yourself that question. 2 questions. What do I treasure? And how much do I treasure it? Just take some breaths and see what comes to you. So I thought it would be cool to just check into what do we think about treasure. There's this potent word, and we don't use it that much, at least I don't, and it has all kinds of connotations, right? And the first one that I want to look at is just the worldly treasure, like the treasure chest, right? And the treasure chest, even from our childhood fables and stories we get told about the treasure chest. Ooh, you know. And then there's this conditioning that says, oh, don't you want the treasure chest? Don't you want diamonds and emeralds and pearls? And think about the treasure chest, right? If it's physical in the world, who has a treasure? Who has a treasure? In the world, who gets to have a treasure? Think about it. Anybody have a suggestion? Does anything come to you? Who has the crown jewels? The kings and the queens, right? Kings and queens get treasure. Who else has treasure? Pirates. What's that? Pirates are burying treasure and robbing and looting for treasure. And fighting over treasure. There's one other that I thought of that has treasure. Shiny gold things. And that's dragons. Right? Dragons sit atop their pile of baubles. And dragons can't always tell the difference between something that's really a fine treasure and something that's just a piece of flashy costume jewelry. Right? But dragons don't care, they just like the flash. So think about that for a minute, because we are conditioned to want that treasure from lots of different angles from the world, right? When we get born, we're in our family, we have our name, we start our incarnation, and then the conditioning starts layering on, right? Oh, you should want this. Think of commercials on TV. It's all about, don't you want this treasure? Ooh, fast car. Ooh, pretty lady. Yeah. And all of that is built upon being special. Ooh, I want it because it's special. It only is treasure because it has a certain kind of value, right? What do I treasure and how much do I treasure it? Okay, well, if it has value, then the world says, oh, you know, if you're going to have value, you need to be special too. And for those of you who have studied the Course, you'll know about that. Jesus, who wrote the Course, Course in Miracles, he talks about two different kinds of relationships. And one is a special relationship. There's special love relationships and special hate relationships. And the special relationship is all about egos being with egos. The ego in me hooks to the ego in you, and we either love each other codependently, or we hate each other, or maybe we do both. A lot of times in the same relationship, there's some of both, right? So our conditioning tells us, all right, you should treasure all of this stuff. And it can be pretty confusing. And I'm sure that you either have had times in your life, or you know people who have gotten really pretty lost with wanting and treasuring external shiny things, baubles and gold and jewelry and whatever else. Right? But there are other treasures in the world, right? So think again, tune in, what do I treasure? How much do I treasure it? Just tune into the things that are in your life that you love. So if you would be so kind as to just speak out, what do you love in this world?
My grandsons.
Right. Family, children, what else?
My cats.
Your pets, animals, what else?
Prayer and meditation.
Prayer and meditation. That starts leading us inside.
Presence.
And in the world, what?
Presence.
Presence. Like
Being present.
to being present, yes. So then we're starting to go more toward the inner world. In the external world, there are some treasures, right? For me, it's art, creativity, movement, music,
My
garden, nature, definitely relationships with friends and family. So there are things to treasure in this world. Beautiful thing. So what happens when we don't treasure each other in this world? And one thing that is really up that probably quite a few of you know about is the thing that's been going on with social media called #MeToo. How many people have heard of that, know what I'm talking about? Okay, some people. There is an upwelling of collective consciousness that really, really deeply wants a healing right now in the area of sexual violence. So this whole thing about Me Too is women stating, oh, I have been assaulted, I have been raped, I have been harassed in whatever way. And it started out of Hollywood, and I won't get into that whole story, but the point is that women are starting to speak out because we realize that the more women post their stories or at least make a statement on social media, the more everyone will realize how pervasive this problem really is. So it's not a fun thing to talk about. However, it's exactly what happens when we don't treasure each other. Right? Violence happens when we don't see the preciousness, not only in others, but ultimately in ourselves. When I was studying radical forgiveness, I studied with a man named Colin Tipping, who's an amazing teacher. He wrote a book called Radical Forgiveness and some other books, and when I was studying with him early on, he said, well, the energy of the victim and the perpetrator are the same. And I went, what? Wait a minute. And that really threw me for a loop because I was used to thinking in terms of, oh, well, the energy of the victim is to be oppressed. And my response to that needs to be such and such, like sympathy and caring. And then the energy of the perpetrator is, all this anger and horror and lack of control, and my kind of gut response is to pull away, right? Or to be disgusted, or to have a major judgment on that. And so in the world and in our working it out with each other, yeah, that's all, it all exists. I'm sure you can understand where I'm coming from with that. But then looking deeper, I meditated on that. What does he mean by that? And I came up with, well, what makes sense to me is that the suffering of the perpetrator is equal in intensity as the suffering of the victim. And that they're linked, actually, like this, energetically linked. So that's why forgiveness is so important, because it pops that open energetically. It helps us to release the trapped feeling of being trapped in those roles. So that really helped me also to have more compassion for the beings, the eternal, beautiful beings who are showing up confused and angry and violent in this world. To realize, oh, okay, their suffering is as great as mine. Or my suffering as a perpetrator, because I've done stuff I'm not happy with, right? But that suffering also exists and needs love and care. All right, I'm getting stretched here. Full disclosure, I wrote a poem. I have never read it out loud. I'm getting guided to read it to you. And it's pretty personal. So, sometimes when I read a poem for the first time, I get a little emotional. So just ride with me on this one, please. It's called Treasure Me, The Price of Admission. And this is sort of a love poem, but it's also a love poem for all of us. It goes like this. Treasure me, because no one ever has. I've had attraction, yes, and love, yes, but been held as the precious and holy being of light that I am? No. Real friends are forever, because we are both sacred. Not simple animals perpetuating a species, nor merely humans confused and lonely. We are wish-fulfilling jewels, glowing with the essence of the ineffable one. So let's bow low and be honored, delighted to witness our beauty, basking in the glory of the one sweet beloved. I will treasure you. Treasure me. So we need to learn how to do this together. And it's beautiful and it's challenging because we haven't been taught, right? I mean, maybe some lucky people in here have been taught, but in general, in this culture, it's pretty rare. So it's new ground. We're being pioneers. And as they say in Buddhism, I think we need to hold it like we want it so much that our hair's on fire. So I want to do a process together that Jesus gives us from the Course. And I'm going to read it first. It's a prayer. It comes directly from the Course in Miracles. And it's something that I really focus on quite a bit in my own life, and I've started sharing it with groups of people. So I'm going to say it first, and then I'm going to say it again and ask you to repeat it line by line after me. Of course, you're free. If it doesn't work for you, don't say it. Because I don't say stuff that's not real to me, and I would never ask you to say anything that doesn't feel right. However, that's why I'm going to read it first, so you know what's coming, and you can decide if it works for you or not. So, here it is. It's a way of learning to treasure ourselves and others. I am here only to be truly helpful. I am here to represent you, beloved, who sent me. I don't have to worry about what to say or what to do. For you who sent me will direct me. I am content to be wherever you wish, knowing that you go there with me. I am healed as I allow you to teach me to heal. So let's try that together. I'm going to read it just one line by one line. And let's take some breaths first. Make sure you are fully present in your body and in your emotions and in your mind, linking with spirit. And if you would, please say it out loud, if that's your pleasure, so that we can feel each other in this. All right? I am here.
I am here.
Only to be truly helpful.
Only to be truly helpful.
I am here.
I am here.
To represent you who sent me.
To represent you who sent me.
I don't have to worry
I don't have to worry
about what to say
about what to say
or what to do,
or what to do,
because you who sent me will direct me.
because you who sent me will direct me.
I am content
I am content
to be wherever you wish,
to be wherever you wish,
knowing that you go there with me.
knowing that you go there with me.
I am healed
I am healed
as I allow you
as I allow you
to teach me
to teach me
to heal.
to heal.
Yeah, good deep breath. Let's drink that in. So I'd like to do one more thing, and that ask to, those of us who want to do this, it's optional, of course, is to turn to the person next to you. And we're going to do this in pairs. If you don't have anybody next to you and you want to do this, then please just raise your hand and we'll make sure that we get linked up. So those of you who are sitting without anybody next to you, are you up for it?
No, it's not for what.
All we're going to do is we're going to say the same prayer, but to each other. Ready? If you don't have a partner and you would like a partner, just raise your hand. And anybody want to do this and don't have a partner?
I need a partner.
Jen, would you do that? Okay. Thanks. Okay. Anybody else want to do it and not have a partner? Okay, you can always just do it on your own again. So here's the thing. Turn towards your partner and look that person in the eye and see the Christ within this person. Or if you're doing it by yourself, see the Christ within yourself. So when you speak these words, you're speaking and treasuring the Christ within this person. And you're going to be breathing and you're going to be totally present. So really move your body so that you can be comfortable and face that person as best you can. Let's notice any place where you're kind of faking it and just blast past that and really go for it, okay? All right, so we're going to do this again. So we're going to do it together. Everybody will be speaking at the same time. And I'm just going to go through the same prayer again. This time you're going to have somebody witnessing you, and you are going to be witnessing the glory in this person with you. Ready? Okay. I am here.
I am here.
Only to be truly helpful.
Only to be truly helpful.
I am here.
I am here.
To represent you who sent me.
To represent you who sent me.
I don't have to worry.
I don't have to worry
about what to say.
about what to say.
Or what to do.
Or what to do.
Because you who sent me
Because you sent me.
will direct me.
Will direct me.
I am content
I am content
to be wherever you wish,
to be wherever you wish,
knowing that you go there with me.
knowing that you will go there with me.
I am healed
I am healed
as I allow you
as I allow you
to teach me
to teach me
to heal.
to heal.
Now hold that eye contact for just a moment more. Even if it's not so comfortable, do it anyway. And breathe and witness the Christ. The Christ essence, by that I mean the ineffable purity of spirit within this beautiful being of light that's across from you and within you. I want to hear you breathe.